Hello.
We are on the record, Your Honor.
Good morning. This is Judge Brown.
Good
morning, Judge.
Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor.
Do we have plaintiff's counsel with us?
I don't know.
If that's me, then yes, Anita Webster.
Thank you. And is your client with us?
Yes, she is.
All right, thank you. And we have defense counsel? Hello?
Hello. No, I'm the defense. I don't know if my counsel is there or not.
Yes,
He fired me.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
He dropped me.
Counsel, do we have you with us?
Yes, I am here, Your Honor. This is Trevor Creel.
Can you state your opinion?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. It's Trevor Creel, bar number 11943.
Okay. All right, so we're on for a status check today. What is the status?
Your Honor, we...
Oh, go ahead, Trevor.
If I can go ahead first, Anita, if that's all right?
Sure. Yes, no problem.
Okay. Your Honor, we filed a motion to withdraw. We had not had any communications with our client for several weeks, actually over a month. So we filed our motion to withdraw. One of the concerns that was reflected or represented by opposing counsel was the fact that there is a quadro, or at least two quadros, that still require final processing. Specifically, the one that does require some additional work is the Technicolor retirement plan. To that end, we have signed a stipulation and order resolving the quadro issues, which will indicate, in accordance with the decree of divorce, that we will finalize the terms associated with those quadros and get those processed. I know that the motion picture industry pension plan, that quadro has been completed. It has been filed with the court, and we are in the process of obtaining a certified copy to send off to the plan for purposes of final process. The Technicolor retirement plan, the plan requested a couple of changes to the document that we prepared. We will make those changes and then submit it to counsel for her signature, get it submitted to the court. Once it's filed, we'll obtain a certified copy and send that off to the plan for final processing as well. So effectively, we are withdrawing from the case, or requesting our withdrawal from the case, with the exception that we will help in facilitating the processing of the quadros that we identified within the decree.
And then, Trevor, you and I also talked about the fact that the quadro, the amended quadro, would be coming to me in the next 2 weeks.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. That's June 12th?
Yeah, that would be June 12th.
Okay, terrific.
Okay, two things. Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
did you receive a copy of the motion to withdraw and the opposition to the motion to withdraw?
I did.
Okay. Mr. Creel, are you requesting to withdraw today?
Yes. I know that we did not request an order shortening time, but we do have that stipulation and order that has been signed by counsel that does effectively seek our withdrawal. So I would be requesting a specific order from the court to withdraw today to avoid
Mr. Fitzpatrick. Okay. Mr. Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Are you in agreement with your counsel withdrawing today?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Webster?
Yes, Your Honor.
Were the issues in your opposition to the motion to withdraw addressed?
As represented by counsel, they were. We also we filed an opposition to the motion to withdraw and a supplement to today's status check. So both were in our opposition. But to the extent that Mr. Creel represented the concerns that we had specifically as to his withdrawal, yes, those have been resolved with the addition that we talked about, namely that he would get the quadro to us by June 12th, the amended quadro.
All right. So is everyone in agreement, and tell me if you're not, to the motion to withdraw being granted today.
Yes, Your Honor.
And
Yes.
Mr. Fitzpatrick, that's acceptable to you?
I have no representation whatsoever, but that's pretty much been the case for the last 2 years. So, I don't have counsel, and I would like time to acquire someone, and I have talked to people, but they don't want to talk to me because they have counsel. So, this has been going on for over 2 years now. I've been drained dry, and I'm suffering cancer now, which the plaintiff knows, and I need to be in treatment with radiation and chemo, and I haven't been able to do that. And it just, this ongoing saga of, the back and forth has done nothing but drain me. It's drained my bank accounts. I can barely get through the day. I need to start the chemo and radiation immediately. I was at my lung doctor yesterday, and he says I have to. I stopped my treatment, the radiation chemo, because of the COVID-19. I need to get back into treatment. If I don't get back into treatment, I'm dead. That's what my doctor told me yesterday. I have to get back into treatment with the radiation and chemo. I'm weak, and this never-ending battle with this person that, it's just never-ending.
Your Honor, I think the question was directed as to the motion to withdraw. I've allowed a lot of liberty just to allow the defendant to speak way beyond your initial question. I mean, obviously, my client also has been severely impacted by the continuing litigation, the multiple motions that have been brought by Mr. Fitzpatrick. Basically, every 3 months he files a motion, which then she has zero money coming in. He at least has his pensions and his Social Security. She has no income whatsoever. And he needs to resume the $750 and spousal support that was suspended only temporarily to see if he could qualify to get this loan for $280,000 and buy her out, which he apparently did not succeed in doing. So he needs to resume the $750. That was the agreement, that if he did not succeed, everything would resume. He would owe retroactive for the months that he didn't pay, which is since March, April, May, now 3 months. And he owed arrearages at the time, so additional money on top of that for a total of $3,000 that he owes her now. Plus, he was supposed to be paying her per our agreement last go-around. He was supposed to be paying her for the pension that he's receiving that she has not received. And the total for that came to $392.75. He was supposed to start paying that. That was an arrearage, plus he was supposed to be paying it presently up until the point where she receives money from the pension, but that's been a year now that she has not received any money from the pension. So he needs to start paying that as well. And that was part of which was discussed last time when Mr. Creel was part of the negotiations, and then also was to be part of the status check.
And, Your Honor, before we get too far into the weeds, it sounds like everybody was amenable to the withdrawal being granted today, and we're kind of getting into more of the arguments. I guess I will ask the court's permission, may I be excused from this conversation to hang up and, I guess, allow the parties to proceed as they see
I'm not
fit?
sure yet. I'll tell you in
What's
a minute.
that? Okay.
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
So, Mr. Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
are you requesting, I want to be clear, I want to understand what you're requesting. Are you requesting that your counsel be allowed to withdraw today, and that we set this status check for a different day to give you time to get new counsel?
Yes, please.
How much time are you requesting?
I don't know. I really need to get started with my chemo and radiation. I'm 77 years old. I was at the doctor yesterday, and I'm without representation. I've been,
I understand. I'm
okay,
just asking how much time you're requesting.
I have no idea. No, I can't seem to, with an attorney, no one wants to talk to me. So obviously I need to be without an attorney to get some kind of representation. I haven't been represented in over a year now. So,
Well, James, you have. And
I doubt that very much, Mr. Creel.
That we have.
Okay, so you guys aren't going to talk to each other directly. That's not appropriate. So,
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr.
Go ahead,
Fitzpatrick, you're fine with me letting Mr. Creel get off of the phone and withdraw?
Absolutely.
All right, Mr. Creel, your motion is granted.
I will submit an order. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Now, today we were just, thank you. Today we were just set for progress. So,
well, we're actually.
Mrs. Webster, you outlined the progress, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you when he hung up. I guess it just started beeping.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, no, I was going to say today was when we came back today. Today was status check to see if the monies had been paid, the $280,000, but it was also to argue the motions that had been pending and were put on hold because he was going to buy her out. And at this point, I haven't spoken to Mr. Creel, so I don't know if the $280,000 is still something that Mr. Fitzpatrick is trying to do. If he ever tried, I mean, I just don't know what the status of that is or why it didn't succeed. We know there was an appraisal done that came in at $570,000, and then we got no information after that. So I don't know what's happening with that. But the status check was to say if we didn't have the $280,000 paid, which it wasn't, that today was going to be, we were going to argue the motions that had been left from last hearing, and that the monies were going to resume, and he had an ongoing obligation to pay her the pension money until she gets pension money directly.
Okay, I'm sorry. It wasn't my recollection that we were going to argue the motion today. And then we just had counsel withdraw.
I understood, Your Honor. But, I mean, I think from my client's standpoint, she's been without any funds whatsoever for the last 3 months, so he needs to resume the $750 because that was the agreement if he didn't pay the $280,000 to her. And he is supposed to be ongoing paying her the pension money, which he hasn't been doing. So that needs to be clear that needs to be done right away, and that needs to resume. He's also turned off her cable as part of the temporary orders. He was supposed to maintain the utilities, including the cable. That was agreed to last time. We didn't specifically say cable, but we said the utilities, and subsumed under that was our assumption that included the cable, so he shut that off, and that shuts off my client's heart monitor. So that needs to resume. So, I mean, he can have additional time, but it's got to be additional time with him paying the financial responsibilities that he's been tasked to pay.
I don't see a stipulation that's been reduced to writing from the last court hearing.
Yes, Mr. Creel prepared it. There were some additional things that we asked that he put in there, which were not done, and then the whole order just was not done. So I can prepare the order, but I don't think Mr. Creel is going to sign off on it, so I don't know what Your Honor's pleasure is. The decree does provide that he is to pay the $750 ongoing, and again, we suspended it temporarily, so it needs to continue to be ongoing. And the agreement from last time was that he was going to pay her the pension payments, the $392.75, which is her community property interest, that he was going to pay those ongoing.
And that hasn't been reduced to writing?
Well, the $750 is ongoing. Yeah, that's ongoing. That hasn't changed. That only was suspended per our stip and order, pending him paying the $280, but being revived should it not happen. But yes, the stip and order was Mr. Creel prepared it. I had changes. He didn't move forward with making any changes or sending me a revised order, and then he filed his motion to withdraw. So that has not been finalized. So I can prepare based on what we put on the record is Mr. Creel going to sign off? Am I going to do it by myself? I guess what's Your Honor's pleasure?
Mr. Fitzpatrick, did you want to say anything?
Well, you know, my doctor said if I want to live, I need to get back to chemo and radiation. I'm weak. I'm tired of this fighting. And there's, the house is still on the market. She refuses to show it.
That's not entirely true. The house is not on the market
Please
right
let
now.
him finish, counsel.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say that's not true because the listing agreement wasn't.
And opposing counsel seems to, she's been bullying me from day one for
That's not
over
true
2
either.
years
I absolutely
now.
deny that.
Absolutely
deny that.
Okay, this isn't going to work if we keep interrupting. Thank you. And Mr. Fitzpatrick, I was just asking, you heard what counsel said about the stipulation hasn't been signed yet. Do you want her to send it to you for review?
See, again,
Now
I'm
that
not
you're
being
representing I guess we're back to the first question. How much time are you requesting to get counsel?
However long it's going to take, I need to get into chemo and radiation if I want to live, period. And it's 6 months, but I can't go on paying this woman, over this nonsense with my, if I don't get in, I'm going to die. Then she's got 100% of my Social Security. She's got half of it now. Obviously that's not good enough. So I don't know. My doctor says I need to get in and start my chemo and radiation again. I need to do that. So can I keep taking money out of my funds and be obligated to my ex-attorney? Yeah, this thing has cost me over $200,000 for a person that's never worked in her life. And
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you did ask a specific question, and I know this is taking quite a bit of your time, and you're being very patient, Your Honor. But specifically, the question was, how much time does he need? Not getting into the merits of the argument, and then the second question was, what about the stipulation in order?
You the same way you kept interrupting me. I don't know if I went to the doctor yesterday. He says unless I get back into chemo and radiation, I'm going to die. So, if you need proof, that's fine. If I die, she's got 100% of my Social Security, so she'll have plenty of money to live. She's already collected the money off the Rue Marquette property. She got all $106,000 of that money. All that money went to her. So I don't feel sorry for her, not one bit. So, and this is from a person that has never worked in her life. And, it's so godly awful, it's pathetic. So, I will find an attorney and I will go full bore, but please, Your Honor, give me enough time to get my chemo and therapy done and reduce some of these payments on a person that's sitting in the house for over 2.5 years now, and not putting a dime into it and expecting me to pay everything, and then going out and getting pay-per-view movies and running the air conditioning with the windows wide open. This is just unbelievable.
Okay. So we're going to do this. We're going to set a status check in 60 days to see if you were able to get counsel. It was not my understanding that we were arguing the motion today. I can have, if you'd like to cite to the record where it says that, I'd be happy to look at it, but I don't have that. And I still need the stipulation from the stipulation order from the last time we were in court.
Happy to
two
prepare.
Things that need to be due. And remember, you still have orders in place that have to be followed. And I'm not on calendar today to change anything. So the only thing I did was, by agreement of all parties, allow Mr. Creel to withdraw, and he did so. I'm not doing anything else today, except we're going to come back in 60 days and see where we're at as far as defendant getting new counsel. So, Madam Clerk, what date would that be?
60 days, Your Honor, is set for August 4th at 11 a.m. And for clarification, Your Honor, as to June 16th hearing at 9 a.m.,
That is vacated because we decided it today.
thank you.
And sir, you, I don't know where we're going to be in August, but you are welcome to appear by phone at that time in case we're back in the courtroom, but just let us know, okay?
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear. August 4th at what time?
11 a.m.?
11 a.m. Okay. Is it possible to do it another day? I am in trial that day.
Okay.
Either the day before or the day after? Would that be possible?
Do we have anything else, Madam Clerk?
We have available August 7th at 11 a.m.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, did you get that date, sir? August 7th at 11?
Well, like everything else in my life, my pen didn't work. Okay.
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you. Did you get the date? Do
August.
you have your email address, sir?
I don't know.
Madam Clerk, can you check if we have his email address?
You should
Yes, Your
have it on file. This has just been such a it's such a burden on my health and just everything. It just.
Your Honor, I do apologize. We do not have an email address for Mr. Fitzpatrick.
Okay.
Sir, would you
Can I
mind
give
giving
it
us the email?
JFITZ54@yahoo.com.
Thank you. That way we'll make sure that we can contact you with information, okay?
Okay.
And I'm
Thank
going
you
to ask
very
Madam
much.
Clerk to email you the minutes from today.
I appreciate that, and please, I just, I need to resume my trying to live, and
Yeah, please
and
do.
I'm sorry.
I
I'm sorry.
Good luck in that. I mean, please do get your medical condition handled right away. I know it's been difficult with what's going on with COVID-19,
Yeah, it's
but we
been
wish
very
you the best
difficult.
of luck with that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all very much, and we're adjourned.
Thank you. Okay.
Your Honor, just real quick on the stipend. Oh. Hello?
Yes.
No. Okay.